right, everybody, welcome back to the show. This is It's Always Something, and it is always something.
What?
It is always something. We're talking about spooky Halloween shows because that's the time of the year it is. It is Halloween-ish. You know, it's October, and I feel like all of October is Halloween. Everyone likes to put crazy decorations up, you know.
True, end of August.
End of August. Everyone's celebrating the heat wave being over, especially here in sunny Austin, Texas, where we have an underground bunker that we film in. It's in an undisclosed location in a secret cave, and it's not a big deal. Maybe one day we'll, advertise that, get some fans in here.
We'll disclose it.
We'll disclose it to certain people, but for right now, it's underground. That's all you need to know.
We just have our significant others drop treats down the hole.
By carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
So a couple things about this episode is episode 5. This is the first time we are ever filming in VR. We're taking things to the next level. I just got the CAF VR 180 camera. So if you see us doing stuff like this, pay attention to the YouTube crowd. That's not for you. That's for the, I guess, for the Meta Quest wearers and whatever. We're trying to push technology. We're a little late getting in the game for podcasts. Everyone has a podcast now. But how many people are doing podcasts in VR? So,
one.
As far as I know, we're the first. As far as I know. I have not researched it any further than right here, right now. But all I know is we're the first.
I've never seen another one.
Yeah.
So, there might not be a market for it. I don't know.
There might not. But was there a market for YouTube before YouTube came out? There wasn't.
I think
a huge market.
Well, now, look at YouTube back in the day when it first started. Look at podcasts. Who was Joe Rogan? He's some scrub that was, looking at people fighting and biting each other's legs and stuff. And then all of a sudden,
now he's
I guess he's doing pretty well.
Big Gillian,
right?
He's in Austin too, by the way.
He is in Austin. We're in communication.
Isn't he on the show next week?
I don't think next week. We couldn't schedule him in.
Oh.
Yeah. We're in communication with these people, and by that I mean we email them constantly. They do not respond.
They never respond.
Well, one of these days, Mike, my worst, it's going to happen. So anyways, this is our spooky episode that we're doing all month long here. And the topic today is going to be the scariest movie we've ever seen, right? So that's kind of open-ended for everyone, right? One person's scary movie is another man's, comedy, I guess. But so that's why I think we'll all have different ideas of what the scariest movie we've ever seen is. And we'll go over a couple of them, because sometimes there's a couple of them, like, oh, that was scary, or this was a scary idea. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to shoot for, the scariest movie.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What's
Well, let's be honest here. I mean, what makes a movie scary to you?
That's a good
So,
point.
for example, I was watching Hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
And that's commonly on the top of almost most website lists of one of the scariest movies of all time. And I can honestly say that I watched the entire movie. I never felt scared.
Mm-hmm.
I never was on the edge of my seat kind of thinking like, ooh, what's around that corner? Nothing ever. But I know why it was scary, because it was satanic, it was demonic.
Yep.
And there was it was just evil, and that was their play. I mean, that's what they were trying to do. And there was a couple gruesome things that happened, but it was more disturbing, and that's the big thing. Things are either scary, like jump scary, or they're disturbing because it's just and I had this look on my face the whole time I was watching. I was just it's kind of
Waiting for
it's kind of gross,
There's a lot of weird stuff,
this brother's driving his sister who he loves or whatever, as he should. And he's driving down the street, and he's trying to drive her to the hospital, and she can't breathe because she ate
allergic to something.
She's allergic to nuts, and she ate this chocolate cake that has. She's obsessed with chocolate, whatever. Anyway, she's hanging her head out the window trying to get air, and a telephone pole takes her head off. And
I actually kind of laughed at that part.
I know. Well, it's just so I knew it was gonna happen.
Shock laugh, it's like,
jeez,
because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's just one of those
it sounds like Final Destination type.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's just I wasn't scared or anything. It was just they showed a couple scenes that were kind of very visually graphically disturbing. Beyond that, it was just an evil thing. Anyway, point is, some movies are considered the scariest. I would by no means say that that's one of the scariest movies. I don't even consider that movie scary. I just think it's disturbing and like gross and sort of evil and like stuff like that. But so I guess what's scary to one person isn't to another.
Right.
So to answer that, what's scary to you then?
What spooks you?
Yeah, for me, it's I like jump scare movies, and I also like to watch a movie that's scary and it should be terrifyingly scary but entertaining. But when it's over, I think that movie did a great job of scaring me.
Is there a theme that spooks you? Because like some people, like I had a friend that I worked with that was literally deathly afraid of clowns.
Well, let's just, you know what? Maybe I'll just jump into some of the scariest movies for me. Like,
Let's do it.
Yeah, so my scariest movies are ones like when they incorporate children.
Okay.
Like the Bad Seed. Black and white movies all usually typically freak me out from the start. It's because they're kind of freaky. But when they involve like a child, like so a Bad Seed, for example, sweet girl tries to pretend to her family like she's the sweetest daughter anybody could ever have, and her parents love her like crazy. And then she's killing people, and
That's an old one, right?
it is very old. The original. I'm only talking about the original, not the stupid remake.
What was that one with Macaulay Culkin? The Good Son, right?
Yeah, with Elijah Wood too.
Yeah, Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
That's
That's
good one.
another
It wasn't
one.
like scary.
No, it's not really scary. That's more of a
thriller.
Yep, a thriller, creepy, kind of
It's so
like
creepy.
Yeah, but I do like jump scare movies too. The one where you're just like, and there's some that are just loaded. You know.
Oh yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things about scary movies is gotta have a killer soundtrack,
But
sound
killer.
sound effects, you know, and cinematography. It's all got to be right on. And I think
That's a good point.
I think The Shining killed it.
That's my favorite thriller.
You bring up a good point, just really quick to interject. I just watched Friday the 13th, the new remake. Well, it's new, 2009. But I'd never seen it before because I hate remakes. I hate them because I feel like it's just recycling old crap over and over. But I've always liked Friday the 13th. But to get your point, just really, really fast here.
Yeah.
There was 2 parts in a row where they tried the stupid like it's just the camera panning, and like as the camera's panning up to like the girl, it like looks at the stove really quick. It's like shh, and it goes up, and I thought to myself, what a dumb time to do any kind of jump. It's like a false jump scare, and it was so dumb that all it does is like make you like it prepared for the next one. Like, if they would say that for like when a head would pop up or something, that's the time to do it. But it's literally just like looking at a stove. It's like
Weird.
like
Yeah.
it's a stove. Who cares that? You know, they're like cooking some
Well,
crap
like
here.
in The Shining, like from in the beginning opening scenes when the guys, it's just a car driving around the mountains, but the music, it just like you're scared before it even starts.
It puts you in the zone.
It puts you in the zone. It's so important.
It's a phenomenal movie.
It is.
Everything of it. The cinematography is amazing. The music is it's perfect.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like too well. It's pretty gory, but not like
Only parts.
obnoxiously gory.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it does have more blood than
It's
any other movie.
psychological. Yeah.
It's very psychological.
Very much.
That was Kill Bill, I think.
Well, it's hard to say because I mean that was an elevator full of blood and just one scene that they dumped.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah.
But it's still even after watching the movie, you don't know was that all in his imagination?
Right.
Did that really happen?
Oh, here's a question for you. I was actually thinking about you the other day because you said that's just. I remember you saying that was your favorite scary movie. Have you ever seen the second part?
No.
Dr. Sleep.
I recently heard that there was a second sequel. I guess.
The sequel, yeah, it's called Dr.
Never
Sleep.
seen it.
Yeah, I've not seen it yet either, and it's been on my list for a while, and I almost watched it the other night. I thought that'd be kind of fun to watch with people, especially since it's like one of your favorite movies.
But Kubrick passed away a long time ago, so who made the sequel?
What are they talking about?
Well, he is the scary movie.
He's featured in it. He's a zombie in the very.
All right, I have a question for everybody. How did you consume that movie? Did you watch it on your phone? Was it in a 5.1?
Boom!
Dolby
Who's gonna watch a
Digital?
movie on their phone?
I'm just saying, I did on the way here.
Oh,
Boy. Last bit of research.
I'm all about setting the mood, especially for a scary movie. So if I watch with 1 or 2 people, it's fine. But you know, you start getting more than that, 3, 4 people, they get all chatty Cathy on you. You know, you have to tell them to shut the hell up and get the hell out. But especially a scary movie, I like to be, in that mood. So all the lights are off. I watch it in my house, crank up the volume, and I just kind of sit there, naked mostly. Just
of course.
Yeah. Just I want to be in a natural state,
Yeah.
That really sets your mind into
It
it.
also makes you feel very vulnerable.
Vulnerable, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, don't get me. Oh, I'm so vulnerable.
Oh wow. But Caleb, when you watched Hereditary, was it like, did you have good surround? Were you not bothered by what was going on in the house? Because I feel like a lot of the
it's
effects
just
of the
the
movie.
Oh, like
yeah,
the
it's the setting. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
Tell us.
I watched it late night.
Oh.
Dark. I always shut all the lights off when I'm watching a scary movie. Shut all the lights off. And it's just like quiet, watching the movie. Kids are already sleeping in bed, whatever. I don't do that for a lot of other movies, for other types of movies.
I mean, what would you do? Action movies have things just climb off the shelf.
Oh, actually, so when I watch action movies, I just sit there with my gun. And just keep
That would be a great idea. Hold a gun.
I got a machete out. I'm sharpening it. Just
Oh, yeah.
get it on.
Yeah.
Get him.
Oh, man.
Reload. So Andrew, for you, what's your scariest movie? What's first of all, what is it that scares you? And secondly, what do you think the scariest movie was?
For me, it's a lot of the stuff that deals with supernatural things or aliens, especially. I'm super into alien stuff, so
Do you believe? Are you a
That's a big
believer?
one.
I don't want to say. No, I am.
You're a
For sure.
believer?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, have you talked to his family?
Well, not on the air or anything.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We were talking about last week. He's very silent, but we know, you guys think he's silent. He's always in our heads.
I was going to say, our favorite scary movie is the same movie,
Yeah. What is that?
Fire in the Sky.
Oh, that's such
Oh, it's a good
movie.
one.
So good.
Supposedly based on a true story.
Yep.
Supposedly.
Why do you say supposedly?
Well, I mean, I wasn't there to witness it. I'm a realist, man. I don't believe in it. I believe in conspiracies, but I also believe everything's a lie. So
Interesting.
it's hard, it's like everything's true, but everything's a lie. It's hard living my life. But yeah, do I think it's fake? No. Do I think it's real? I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm always skeptical. But the guy seemed believable. I think he was actually on Joe Rogan.
He was, yeah.
And
Travis.
was that his name?
Was it?
Yeah, not Travis.
Wow.
Yeah,
True fan over here.
Well, I had nightmares about that movie. I remember I saw it when I was young. I don't remember when it first came out, but I was young. And it's
That's true. That was a scary.
it's
movie
those
when you're
the
a
types
kid.
of movies that are like supposed to be real and people swear they are real and they took lie detectors and all this stuff.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
all lie
as a kid,
Everybody did. He was with a whole crew of like.
they all back his story.
They all had matching stories.
And so you're a kid, you're watching this, and then obviously the movie is showing you this, representation of what happened, and
He was abducted, right?
abducted by aliens, yeah, and what happened to him and how crazy it was, and the aliens looked obviously freaky,
I imagine,
so
not
not
imagine
like
that
dumb,
scenario
they looked scary.
where something so crazy happens to you that's literally unbelievable, that no one will ever believe it, but it really did happen to you. And then, let's say aliens picked you up or something. Even your best friends, like if you said you were picked up by aliens, if I was picked up by aliens and I got dropped back off here, and I was like, I would question even telling you guys about it. Because I would think,
of course.
it's so unbelievable. And I would even question if it happened myself. But did it even really happen?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, everyone's had dreams that they wake up from there, or maybe later on the day they were thinking about something and they think, did that happen, or is that a dream, or is that a nightmare? It's hard to even tell sometimes.
right. So, yeah, I mean, that's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
So, aliens, it's scary business.
The effects in that movie too were off the charts. When
Oh,
he got
it was
abducted.
really
like
good.
Goo and like floppy stuff just covering his whole body. There's one part he was getting suffocated by this. I don't know.
It was rubber sheet looking thing. Whatever's just sunk down on him, and he was just like,
I remember
suffocating.
that.
Yeah.
They like cut this slit across his mouth so he could like
Just
breathe and not die.
like the artistic vision.
Just enough to
do all
live.
the stuff they chose to do was just like, oh,
Who knows if he got probed or not?
Right.
There's no showing. Oh, he'll never admit that.
Look, if I was an alien and here's the thing. So, just to go off on a tangent here, so maybe these aliens aren't, you know how people here will do things illegally, they'll hunt animals illegally and stuff. Maybe some of these aliens are coming over here, and they're just coming underground, like hunting us, what's it called when you hunt deer and stuff without a license? Poaching. What if they're like poaching humans and just they're just jamming them in the butt and stuff, and you got all those like redneck aliens or like.
I would definitely not want to talk about that.
Oh man.
If you're coming back sore, you're probably not going to talk about it, you know. And
That's
just
probably
be
why he took
for a couple days. Be like, God, look, I pulled a hamstring, bro.
Yeah, that guy disappeared, and he just popped up randomly 5 days later. And they're like, we need to go see a psychologist. So they like tried to keep him hidden. They brought him to talk to people, and then just nobody could figure out what's going on. They came back to that site where the abduction happened, and they did like tests in the field and stuff, and it was just off the charts with radiation.
Oh
It was
yeah,
just like cooked.
Yeah.
So interesting.
It's crazy.
It's interesting. I for one do believe there's life somewhere. Has it been here? Now that's where I'm skeptical. I don't know. Maybe, but I mean, I just think mathematically, if you're a realist, if you do the numbers, there's billions of galaxies. There's got to be life.
It's likely.
Yeah, it's like more likely than not. All right, Squash. What do you think? Scariest? What scares you? And what's the scariest movie you've seen?
So what will scare me to the point where I refuse to watch movies like this is always demonic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The first and only movie I have ever actually walked out of in the theater was Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, it was
Did I see that?
It was Charlize Theron,
Keanu Reeves, right?
Al
Reeves,
Pacino.
Al Pacino.
Pacino.
Yep. And it was. I remember there was a scene that it just set me off. It was like I can't do this anymore. And it was a scene where she's having sex with somebody, and she turns around and looks at him, and the guy turns into a demon. And I was just like, "That's it. I'm done." I walked out. It's like that kind of stuff. Any demonic movie characters, Exorcist, Exorcism of Emily Rose. I've seen The Exorcist, which is very very good movie, but I just don't like it.
You said so. She turned around and she's having sex with a demon.
Yeah, it turned into a
That
demon.
should just give us horny a whole new meaning. You know.
Oh God!
Yeah, I guess. I mean, to me, demons are very real. So
Right.
it's just like what Caleb was saying, how you're playing with reality, mixing reality with fantasy, or that's
But not the cool way.
type of stuff
You know,
that
not
is
like video games. You're doing it for real.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the scariest movie then too. Like that you just was it scary?
I mean, it's not
for you, or was
scary.
it just like uncomfortable.
It's just too uncomfortable, too realistic. Like if I'm watching something, it could happen. Especially when you're dealing with spiritual stuff.
Sure.
Where you don't have to. It's not like a slasher movie. Yeah, slashers. There are serial killers. Yeah, it's possible, but it's not like a spiritual thing where it could walk into
The unknown.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I don't like about. See, I don't find those movies scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to watch them. I don't like to watch like Rosemary's Baby, The Omen. You know, these Hereditary, the ones.
Conjuring.
Yep,
Yeah.
the ones where they're. I feel like
So-
it's an easy out. It's easy for the drive. Oh, let's just put devils and demons.
Upside down
and,
cross
you know,
and-
yeah, let's make it evil. I feel like it's such an easy. They don't have to build a character. They don't have to build any type of a bad guy. You just use evil. You know,
Right.
it's like,
I would-
come
I would
on, we've seen it a
completely
million times. Just move on. You know, be creative.
And so is it a scary movie for you that you've seen that, or is that just the
No, it's really that those are the ones that I can't do it.
The Exorcist,
Like
obviously.
The Shining is my favorite
Okay.
thriller.
Well, that was a great
Scary
movie
movie,
too.
It's like
Yeah.
some things you just don't joke about, right? Some
Yeah.
subject things.
Yeah.
You don't go there.
Yeah, and especially the sex thing. It was almost like rape. Like
Yeah,
Satan was raping.
right.
I mean, it's like
Well, that's just
The
Rosemary's
Exorcist,
Baby.
too, right?
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Rosemary's Baby is supposed to be.
Babes.
Yeah,
Some
supposed to
chick.
be.
Hold on,
The
no,
baby of.
that movie was great.
Well, no, it's a popular movie, but the premise of the movie is like, the Satan, rapes this girl, and then the baby is the son of. It's just like those types of movies. I
That happened,
don't
but
enjoy.
it's not like that was a scene. It's not like they showed it. They really developed her character to be just this naive, kind of happy-go-lucky thing. And then she's pregnant, and then these people are helping her with the pregnancy. It seems all kind. And then when the baby comes out, that's when you find out it has the mark of the beast. It's, super messed up for sure.
Yeah, it sounds
terrible.
Sounds terrible. Sounds like something I'm not interested in. But and then some movies just take it so far. Okay, another movie. You're just okay. You're surrounded by a bunch of people who are, in Hereditary, they're naked.
Right, the same thing.
But like, it's the same thing. A bunch of people who are like in this cult, and they're just like they're Satanists, whatever.
To be fair,
Come on.
so for Hereditary, I watched that as well.
Yeah.
And I thought the most of the movie was, I like how they set it up as you're questioning it the whole time. Like, is this real? Like, is this really going on? Like, is this guy crazy? You know, and then like,
Who crazy though?
was it the mom or something? Was that who?
Well,
I can't remember.
Yeah, the mom was the craziest one. Yeah.
The grandma was
Well,
So
the
yeah,
mo- the
you're
mom-
questioning it. I like that they were questioning it because they weren't being very in your face.
Yeah.
Until the very end, when it's like boom, like this is real crap that's going on. This is
that's when it all exploded. It just
Right.
spiraled out of control. But
like when they flipped up and hit the ceiling. That I thought it was cool. That was kind of spooky. Like
that was so. The mom was like the one you're constantly thinking, is her story accurate or is she crazy? Just crazy because she thinks her mom
it's crazy.
was
Just television person,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
right. And so she's trying to say, oh, it's her. And then you're starting to think, is it? Well, is it her and you, or or what?
Sure
what
about
is-
that?
Are you sure about that?
That sounds interesting though. When you,
I mean,
flesh out the characters and stuff,
I'd say
constantly
this.
wondering.
I'll put it this way: if you like those types of movies, where they all have the same ending, where there's somebody entering a room full of Satanists who are all standing around you chanting something, and you're there with the devil. And it's happened in a million other movies.
Check, please.
If that checks off your thing for a good movie, watch it. If it checks off your thing for a bad movie, don't watch it.
Right.
Simple as that.
There you go.
I'll tell you another crazy story. This is another show that I quit watching for the craziest reason, and it was because of Sophie, my dog.
Oh wow.
We were watching The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Have you guys ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, is that a movie or a show?
The show.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
a series.
Yeah.
And every time we watched it, Sophie would like look behind us, and get freaked out and walk to another part of the room, look back behind us, and we kept looking back like, what is she doing?
Oh, that's creepy.
And it was a couple episodes where we finally quit watching it. We're just
It's awesome that you're
we
own
were
dog
watching
playing
it.
a trick on you. That reminds me.
pretty creepy though.
I've done some spooky things in my. So, one of my favorite things about Halloween is just like your dad. I love scaring people. There's no greater comedy to me than scaring the absolute tish out of someone. And I figure since we're advertising our whole lives here, to the internets, I want to get out the 2 times I scare people the worst I've ever scared them in my life. Like, it's just 2 glorious times. One is, this one's for my younger sister. She'll remember this, and I probably scarred her for life, but it's worth it. So me and Andrew here, we're watching Child's Play way back in the day, and we're watching, we're not supposed to, it's rated R, and we're probably like 12, 13 or something like that. So we're not supposed to be watching, but we're watching it. And then, we watched it, but it's no big deal. Who cares? But she was watching it too. She was supposed to be sleeping. And then my parents came home and she told us, she's like, they were watching a scary movie. And of course my parents didn't really care, but they're like, you can't watch that with your sister, blah, blah. And I was like, she was in her room. So anyways, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get her back. So anyone our age knows that back in the day, there was, that whole thing Chucky was based on. There's My Buddy dolls. We had one when we were kids. And so
I had
we went
one
up.
of those.
Did you really?
Yeah, I
we
did.
did too. So I went up to our closet, found it, got it, went back downstairs, and she was like out doing something like in the bathroom or something, and I snuck into her bedroom and snuck under her bed, and I laid under her bed for like an hour.
my
I was committed. And so I'm under there, and like she shuts off the lights, and now it gets in the bed, and like the little night light comes on, and I wait till she's all rustled, comfortable and in and everything. And so I put my hand under My Buddy like this, and I rustle some papers and stuff. And she's like, you hear that? Other tipsing up.
Oh man.
And then you hear like in the bedroom, she's like kind of leaning over, and I like rustle some papers at the end. She's like, and you hear like, and then
How old was she?
she's like 7 or something. So it's terrible. So I jumped through I was like, I'm Chucky, want to play? And she's like, so I knew I was in trouble at that rate. So I had to ditch and go running.
How old were you?
Oh, I was like 12 or 13 or something. Yeah.
Terrible.
Maybe 14. I can't remember. That's
legendary.
probably one of the loudest I've ever heard someone scream. It was outstanding. I don't remember if I might have been beaten for that. I don't remember. What happened after was blanked out. But the second time is when I worked at Six Flags, and we were talking about this earlier before the show started. One of my friends was deathly afraid of clowns. Like, and I thought that was funny, but at the same time, I was being very insensitive. Hashtag regrets, hashtag no regrets. So I'm at Six Flags and there's props everywhere. Okay. And he went out. I was like, oh, that's such a dick. I got some, I told him I had some papers. I was like, hey man, go turn these papers into the office. I got to do something over here and come something. He's like, all right, cool. And he's like the nicest guy. Sorry, Brian. And anyways, he goes off and does it, right? And then in the car, I put 2 clowns, like with scary clowns, and I set them up in the truck that we use. And then I was like, hey man, I have another paper. When he came back, I was like, I have another paper in the truck. Can you go get that? And he walks over it and just, whoop, and like he like does a stutter, like, wow. And he just turned around and ran out.
Wow.
Like I was like,
Jeez.
I thought it was a joke,
Yeah.
And I was like, no, maybe I should do this before.
Man.
This is before you cancel for things like that, but I'm sure that was.
Did your boss spank you?
Oh no, my boss, he would have laughed. That's to my best times. But as far as scariest movie for me, I'm gonna totally agree with you guys on. I'm not super like in depth religious or anything. I believe in what I believe in, but I don't like it when people like take the whole like devil thing and just like play it fast and loose. Because I just feel like there's some things you can make a good movie featuring them, but when you get like real like bad, like I don't know, like I always like it when there's like good wins in the end, like Evil Dead and stuff, where they talk about evil monsters and stuff, but in the end, roundabout way, Ash always wins, so good always triumphs. But like I guess in The Exorcist they kind of won, but like in other movies, like the one we were just talking about, was it Hereditary, where it's just like, no, the evil just wins. In the end, it's just like it's not a good turnout, and those always rub me the wrong way because I don't like that negative like evil thing. Like it's too real for me, It's just, and I don't like celebrating evil, Like I don't like letting them win. So that's my thing. I don't like that. But as far as scariest movie, I watched. Zombies never really do it for me. I watched The Autopsy of Jane Doe. That's supposed to be one of the scary movies. And that one was pretty good. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. Did you watch it? I think you watched it, right?
Yeah.
And I like how it's a really interesting movie because, number one, there's only like 4 or 5 actors in the whole thing.
I was talking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, while we were watching,
really
I was like,
cool.
man, this is amazing. Like almost the entire movie's in one place, like one little basement thing.
Yep, like 5 different
Couple
scenes.
people,
That's
yeah.
all it is, a couple people in it, and you never lose interest. It's even if you don't like the movie all that much or whatever, you never really lose interest because there's always something keeping you plugged in. Like you want to know what's going to happen next. Now I didn't think it was all that scary, but I can understand why people thought it was great. I thought it was really good. I thought
it was a good movie.
I would agree. Again, I don't think it was scary, but as far as a horror movie, I do think it was one of the best I've seen. Like it was just a really good movie.
Sounds like it was well written too.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a good movie.
They leave you with questions and stuff and make you think about things. So
Yeah, I feel like it would have to be pretty well written to be like what you said, in one room, but just a few
very few actors. Yeah, but that's a good time. As far as what scares me, like I said, I think the only thing that really scares me is like the whole Satanism thing. And it doesn't scare me. It just makes me. I don't like it.
Right.
It makes me
That's
feel
not,
gross,
it doesn't
you know?
scare me at all. It's just like I watch, I'm just like, I don't know. I just like, okay, I'm just like, I like to be scared. If I'm watching a scary movie, I want to be scared, like scared.
Like
or
jump
something.
scare.
Well, and jump scares are one popular way of doing it. But if they can build up the fear, if they can build up the fear, maybe they're getting to know the people, whatever, or the situation, whatever. And there's a lot of ways you can do it. And, like we were talking about with Shining, with the sound and all this stuff and the lighting and,
Atmosphere.
maybe you see somebody in the background, behind, they don't even see
So
them.
there's-
It's like,
Speaking of which, he was talking about a movie that had really good atmosphere. What was it called again?
Horror in the High Desert.
Horror in the High Desert.
Horror in
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the way he sold it to me, I was not the biggest fan of, because it's like a found footage type movie where, you know, it's supposed to be spooky and they're doing like a
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
A lot of
style.
people think Blair Witch. I just keep seeing that on the top of
Oh,
the scariest
I don't know how
movies
it got
ever
there.
made. I keep
I don't
seeing
know.
it there. I don't know. But anyway,
I think Blair Witch was crap.
I keep seeing it on top. And I'm like,
I think
really?
Blair Witch was crap, and I remember when I saw it in the theaters, I think I was actually with you guys. I fell asleep because I thought it was terrible.
Really?
Oh yeah, I fell asleep like 2/3 of the way in. I was out like a light.
I don't think
And-
you must have been really tired. It wasn't that.
No, I
wasn't
swear,
that boring.
I never fall asleep in movies, especially if I'm
It might
in the
be
theater.
bad, but it's not that
I
boring.
remember thinking to myself while I was watching it, I hate this movie so much, I'm just gonna take a nap. Like I'm just done with it.
I think
I don't
this-
want to leave, you know, but I
Anyways, let's
pumped
talk about
out, and then I woke up at the part where they're going to the basement, and I was like, well, I might as well watch the end.
That was like all found footage though, right? Wasn't it like shaky camera,
Yeah, and I
flashlight,
hate that.
and the dark?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
the
that's
first
hard to
movie to
follow.
really push that, and it made millions of dollars. so-
Well, it was so well advertised because they made everybody think that it was real.
right. They
Yeah.
purposely
Yeah, this
didn't
is-
do interviews and stuff. The actors didn't do interviews. They made them not do them.
Yeah.
Which is really smart.
I mean, it was genius.
oh yeah,
It was.
The
It was
marketing
really good.
was
Yeah.
great. The everything he did to make money on it was great. I just thought the whole found footage concept was corny. That's all.
Well, not
I, just
that-
didn't, I didn't buy it.
Another thing that was bad was watching it that in a theater. The shaky camera was like it ended up being too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like people were getting sick watching it.
That's I hate shaky cameras, so I can't stand that. Like I remember the first, not that's Halloween related, but the first Jason Bourne I really liked. It's a good movie, good action movie. And the second one, whoever was directing that, man, that was when they took the shaky cam to the next level, and it just made me feel gross and sick. Like it's just like, and I never get to. I ride roller coasters, I do everything, but like VR, I'm in VR. Hey guys, how's it going? But the way they shook the camera, it hurts my vision. It's just like, oh look, stuff's happening. Look, oh my god, he's fighting. And then like punch comes in. It's like, oh look at that, that's a punch. And it's like, you can't even see what's going on. You know, like that's one thing I hate about Winnie the Pooh. Talking about that last week. It's too dark and you just don't know what's going on. Like my brain just can't like conceptualize what's going on.
It seems like they kind of got out of that shaky cam. They
Oh,
figured
thank
out that
goodness.
just a little shaky is
Yeah, they finally invented GoPros. Is what happened.
Yeah.
I think they put the stabilization on. Yeah, it fixed that. But horror,
Back to these horrors.
Yeah, the horrors in the high desert.
horrors in the desert.
So the thing about this one, it was shot, and I actually started watching it as a documentary because it in the genre title it appears as a documentary. So I'm just watching another true crime thing, you know, and it's all documentary, sitting down, talking head interviews. This guy. He was like really cool. He was really smart, but he was like also kind of like special needs or like, you know, and he just ends up disappearing randomly. So they're trying to track him down and stuff, and they find out that, you know, he's not coming back. And when's the last time they're following the mystery? But he's also got like an actual YouTube that they refer to, and it just kind of throws the whole story on its head.
Wow.
Because you see all the stuff that he filmed for his YouTube.
That's
That was a way of exposing the audience to it.
And it wasn't called like YouTube, where you knew it was fake.
You know, I don't think they actually said YouTube.
Oh, see, that's I know.
But yeah, so there's one. They finally get to the point where they find this footage, and he goes to this spot that's super creepy, and he comes back with his YouTube channel. He's like, you know, I got really close, and I saw some things I probably shouldn't have seen, and it was
What
just
are you
creepy.
close
So I
to?
turned. That's the thing. So he turns back.
That's just it.
He turns back, but his audience, they're like, he's already kind of like special needs, right? So they start like taunting him, like bullying and stuff, and
Oh, that's mean.
right. So he's got like a bunch of followers, but everybody's like calling him out for being a wimp and not like actually seeing what was going on there. So he's like, crap, I got to go back. So finally he goes back, and that's when, you know, you start seeing stuff.
That's when he
Frame by
does the
frame.
comeback.
You'll see stuff in the background, and you think you see something, and you play it back 4 or 5 times. There was actually something there that he didn't see when he was filming. That just makes it more creepy, but, you know, he actually does disappear, and I didn't actually know it was a documentary. I mean, it wasn't a documentary until, like, almost all the way through the movie.
Oh,
It was that good, so...
Yeah, that helps a lot. Like, you know, whether you're enjoying the movie throughout, you know.
I actually mentioned it. I tried to get you guys to watch it. We talked about it one night over
I
dinner.
feel like if I know it's not real, but it's one of those that are like playing it real, like it's, you know, shaky cams or whatever. And if I already know that it's not real, I end up judging it a lot while
That's what I
watching
did.
it. I'm
the
like,
same way.
okay, you know,
It's just too big and
yeah, right.
you know.
But if yeah,
And then I just wanted it.
I always ask that right when I'm about to start a movie. Like, is this based on anything, or is this like, you know? I always want to know
Yeah, I do too.
if it's even remotely being like close to being.
And that's why I like Fire of the Sky. That's cool. 'Cause you
Yeah.
know that's fake. You know.
Yeah, it's
Like,
controversial.
it's controversial. You don't know.
Right.
But stuff like that, it's like when it's not real. You know.
Like Aliens.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
The movie.
Speaking of aliens, what is that movie?
Alien.
What's that one with the walkie-talkies and Mel Gibson and
The crop circle one.
yeah,
And Night Shyamalan.
The Sign.
the signs. The signs.
Signs.
See now,
Loosely based on the Ace of Base song.
that one, I wouldn't say that's a scary movie necessarily, but it just has just enough scariness to it and creepiness to it. Like when the walkie-talkies are putting something in all of a sudden, or when they're like down in the basement.
Walkie-talkies do
Yeah,
make things creepy.
they do.
They're
they're down in the basement.
I
all of
mean,
a sudden
fingers
those-
under the door.
Oh yeah, all that stuff. They do it in such a way that it was just enough to just creep you out, and it's stuff like that I enjoy. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I never said what spooks me. Let me tell you what spooks me. I'm not afraid of zombies, like the cult or whatever, vampires. Not afraid of that. And I'm not afraid of anything. I'll fight anything. But let me tell you what creeps me out in movies. I 100% agree with Caleb here. Children, like whenever children are possessed and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like that. You know, it doesn't scare me, but it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, they take something what's supposed to be innocent.
So that's the second thing that scares me.
Oh.
I shouldn't say scare me. Makes me uncomfortable is old people movies.
Oh.
I don't like old people.
Yeah.
Like old people creepy with a paper thin skin. And
Oh my gosh.
no old people watch YouTube. But you know, like they're all like, especially when like, I'm trying to think. There's a movie I've seen. I can't remember.
What about the other M. Night Shyamalan movie where, what's it called? The little kids that go over the grandparents' house, and the grandma's trying to convince the little girl to crawl into the stove.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
I think
about.
that's
Yeah.
Gretel.
No,
No, I know what you're talking about.
you didn't.
what
If
that's
you haven't
called.
seen that, you
I've
should
not.
see that. It's actually done really well.
I've not seen that.
That was
All
one
right.
of his like newer-ish movies, right?
It was
It was after The Shining, but I mean it was like
The Shining.
Shining.
I mean those signs.
Yeah, way
The
aside.
Shining. I think he was involved in The Shining somewhere.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But yes, old people scared crap out. Like that's if you want to bother me in a movie and like get me like if you want to set up a jump scare, man. I remember seeing some ones where like especially as like an old decrepit like in a wheelchair like. You know, like really, and it's just so many creepy things you can do with that because like old people are supposed to be weak and frail and stuff, and then when they get up and like start walking fast and stuff, it's like get out of here. You know?
Get out of here.
What about the whole genre of like curse movies, like The Ring or Ringu or?
I was gonna ask. you
Yeah,
about The Ring.
The
I
Ring.
like The Ring.
I like The Ring too.
Yeah.
I thought it was a super creepy movie.
It's creepy. It didn't scare me, but it was
It was a little scary.
It was creepy.
That,
It had, it's
that
a good
hair
jump,
and
yeah,
stuff.
it had a couple good jump
The
scares.
flies.
Yeah, they had some good jump scares, and I think
Yeah, that was a good movie all around.
I'll give it, yeah, for sure. I would like to actually watch that again. I don't think I think I did watch Ring 2, and I thought that was lame.
Did you see the original one, the Japanese?
Ringu, yeah. Ringu.
Ringu.
The Visit.
Oh, okay, that's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I
Yeah, you
like-
should see that. That's good.
I like movies like where there's psychos, like Silence of the Lambs.
What about Leatherface?
I was just gonna say
Based on a true story.
Texas
Chainsaw Massacre, the original one.
Based
I mean,
on a true story
that's
from a guy
like,
from
yeah,
Wisconsin,
you just
right
got some
there where we
crazy
were.
people. Yeah, crazy
At
people
the end.
in some old small town out in the field, whatever.
It's not the Wisconsin massacre. It's the Texas.
Well, I know, but it's still the idea. Okay, it's loosely based on Ed Gein, who was in
Milwaukee, right?
that was Jeffrey Dahmer. Ed Gein was in Wisconsin, but is more out west, rural west.
I think a lot of them came out of Wisconsin.
He was so Ed Gein, like the whole Leatherface thing. He only killed one person that they know of. He might have killed more, but that was a weird story, man. He lived with his mom until he was like 40.
He was a clown, wasn't he?
No, that's Gacy. easy. Here in Chicago.
Killer's messed up.
He was from Chicago, same area, all within a couple miles, a couple hundred, within 100 miles of each other. But Ed Gein, his mom died. Some say he might have killed her. He's never really forthcoming about that, but he made a skin suit out of her and cut off her face and wore her face. That was real stuff. He made and then he started digging up people in the cemetery. And he started literally made lampshades with human flesh. He made a belt out of nipples. It was jacked up. And then one day, pretty dead people, right? Well, till the end. And then one day he just walked into a pharmacy in his town. Just random lady he'd seen many times. He's like, "Oh, is anyone here?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "I just stabbed her, killed her, brought her to her house and skinned her alive." She was missing for a couple days, and crazy, man. That's the thing again. Why scary movies are yeah, we'll take care of that. So it's the real things like that that are bothers, because some of these movies are based on real events, and I think that's the part that always spooks you. It's the realism, the underlying realism in there.
Oh yeah,
That's something that's on
a huge deal.
I think that's a very big dividing line between the movies like Friday the 13th and
but Halloween, for example. Halloween's a real guy that, of course, he gets shot a bunch, and
I liked Nightmare on Elm Street because nightmares are scary.
Yeah,
and taking that and turning it into a movie that's really
which is the point
goes off with that. That's a huge deal.
You and I used to stay up for 2 days at a time.
Yeah,
I'm sure all of us have.
I mean, nightmares seem so real.
Sometimes that day, walking through the day, seemed like a dream almost. Yeah, I'm serious. Do you remember when we stay up for 2 days straight and
they start tweaking?
Oh yeah, you start hearing things. It's you can hear in a dream. Am I awake right now? You question reality. It gets crazy, man. I'm glad I don't do that anymore because it was weird.
Oh yeah,
but that's I should. We can kind of.
I can go into some stories. I'm not gonna go in.
Maybe we'll jump on that in the next episode. We'll start finishing this one up.
Yeah.
But yes, maybe next week I think to go on that topic, we should maybe talk about the best iconic slashers of all time. Maybe we'll change it. You never know. A week is a long time to think about things, but that's something we should get in depth about. What is the quintessential Halloween movie to you? Who is the dude? Obviously you got, we already talked very briefly about Jason. You got Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Chucky from Child's Play. There are some big names out there that really, they sell outfits like crazy,
Yeah.
So, who's the best slasher of all time? That's a good question. We need to ponder that. Maybe we'll think about this week.
Coming up
next time on It's Always Something podcast. But I think we're going to do it from there. That's going to end right here.
Let's do it from there.
Now let's do it from here and go there next time. From here, we'll stop. From there, we'll go.
Oh. and that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. All right. Thanks, everyone. Again, we're going to put this VR video on YouTube. It's also going to be on a website called Dio VR. We'll put links on in the bottom. So if you have a MetaQuest or any kind of VR, be it Valve Index, anything, you can go on there, check it out. Hopefully it looks really cool. We're going to learn from it. We might make mistakes. Let's be honest here. It's new technology, but if we're going to do our best, we're going to make it look good. We'll try something new next week. And thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. We need your help. We're a growing channel. Leave a comment below about your favorite scary movies. Maybe what scares you the most. Is it the occult? Is it, Satan stuff? Is it, clowns? Hey, Brian, if you're out there, tell me about clowns. Was that the scariest thing that ever?
Oh,
if you're out there,
let's get you out. It's comment below, Brian.
Comment below. But thanks so much, guys. We appreciate it. We love you. Thanks for showing up. We'll see you next week.